Welcome to In the Spotlight, a Marketer's Toolkit series where we bring guests on that are already using the Marketer's Toolkit. That way you can up-level your game in GHL HighLevel. Today we're bringing on Charles Higgins. He's no stranger to the GHL community and our Marketer's Toolkit community. He brings over 20 years of CRM experience from the corporate automotive world, where he worked with giants like Ford, Toyota, Cox Automotive. From managing Rolodexes in the early days to spearheading scalable SaaS solutions, Charles has seen the full evolution of customer relationship management. Today, he helps agencies and entrepreneurs unlock the full power of HighLevel with the Marketer's Toolkit, focusing on usability, client experience, and building true vendor partnerships that drive long-term growth. So, without further ado, let's welcome Charles Higgins. A lot of people had suggested actually you come on because you apparently know a lot about the toolkit and have been using it for a while. So tell me a little bit about your background with how you found the toolkit.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I come from a long history of working in CRMs, different CRM companies, global companies, and putting them into businesses where not everybody wants the same thing and everybody's at a different use level and everybody needs different accommodations. And I stumbled upon the Marketer's Toolkit, found out about it through the HighLevel community, and I really kind of fell in love with it once I dipped my toes in the water. I was like, I don't get into all this colorful dashboard stuff. I don't care about putting curtains on the window. I just want the window to open and shut correctly. And I'm more function over form. But as I started to get into the Marketer's Toolkit, I found that it did that. And that's really what got me into the Marketer's Toolkit at first, was that it helped me open and shut that window that much easier.
That's awesome. That's a great way of explaining it. I have never heard it in that way before. And you said before we hit the record button, you said you were in corporate automotive CRM. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I spent 20 years in automotive, worked for companies like Cox Automotive, which is a derivative of Cox Media, and then worked for Ford Direct as well as Toyota Corporate. And I was one of the, when I first started in automotive, our CRMs were a wall of Rolodexes. So I've seen CRMs come from the very beginning and evolve over the years, and got to work with some great companies, CDK, Reynolds and Reynolds, and just always loved CRMs and the versatility and the data management part of it, and really being able to solidify what that customer journey was and be able to create a personal experience for people.
So you found HighLevel. How did you find HighLevel?
HighLevel, it started circulating in the automotive industry early 2019, and I took a look at it. I'm like, this is kind of nice. I'm like, and this was in the very early days of HighLevel. It was definitely not what HighLevel is today. It was totally different, way more difficult to use than it is now. People don't realize how good they have it now.
Right, to say the least.
But yeah, it was rough. It didn't do near as much. Didn't have 25% of the tools that are in there now. But I loved that it was agnostic, that you could approach any business from any direction. And so my goal was to really build a platform or build an entryway for entrepreneurs and small businesses to have a scalable solution. Because that was always the thing I ran into in corporate, dealing with small, and everybody thinks, oh, they're a car dealer. They got all the money in the world. Well, that's true for some, but not true for all. And I worked, when I was with Ford, I did mostly rural market. And so these were small mom and pop stores out in the middle of nowhere. But I got involved with a lot of local businesses through those connections. And I really saw that it was, not only was it a struggle in automotive, but it really transcended across so many different industries. And so HighLevel provided the opportunity for me to be able to bring an affordable and scalable solution to entrepreneurs and small businesses that couldn't afford bigger solutions.
Right. So when you were connecting with the Marketer's Toolkit, it wasn't the theme, it wasn't the branding. part of the platform that drew you in? What
Yeah.
was was there like one feature that drew you in?
It's funny because I signed up and the theme builder was part of the package, and I didn't use anything out of the theme builder. Didn't touch a thing in it. I updated the favicon and the logo and a couple of things, and that was about it. I still use the stock colors, the stock sidebar, but my thing was being able to put things in a place through header buttons or different functionality that's offered through the Marketer's Toolkit in a place that made the most sense for my users. And not only getting information in front of them, but there's a lot of capability through the Marketer's Toolkit to be able to put autosave, or that annoying, you're sending a text message and you hit return because you're on your computer, you don't think about it, and it sends half your text message.
Yes.
It's so
I've
it
done
was
that.
a lot of usability things. Yeah,
Right.
it was a lot of usability things that we were getting complaints from customers. And, if it wasn't in there already, which most of it was, I could send a message to Tom and he'd say, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do it. And that was one thing that I really appreciated, probably even more so than the technology, is I'm really big on the difference between a vendor and a vendor partner. Vendors, you pay them, they come and go, and we know this as marketing agencies, as software agencies. You can be a vendor, you can supply a service or a product or tool, but there's a difference when you become a vendor partner. And that's one thing that I've really experienced with Tom and the Marketer's Toolkit. I've had the opportunity to meet him twice. Met him at Level Up last year in Dallas, and then we met again in SaaSpreneur 2025 in Dallas. And it's just been great getting to know him, and I always feel like he's as invested in my business as I am. Anything I need, if I have a problem or I'm not sure about something, I can go to him. He's approachable. He actually cares, and that to me means more than the software itself. So, but he does offer great tools. My customers love it. They get more updates than most high levelers because of the Marketer's Toolkit.
Yeah. So when you talk about a vendor partner, you mean somebody who actually cares and is there. You feel like they're there with you.
Yeah, it's not just transactional, and that's where you really see the difference. Vendors, it's just transactional. You pay them, they provide a service. That's the extent of the relationship. But when, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night and you see that HighLevel has changed something, that never happens. Tom's all over it, and he doesn't mind you reaching out and saying, hey, looks like something broke. Can we get this fixed? He's always right there, and he wants a good experience for your customers.
Have you created something in your account with the toolkit that you can share with us?
Yeah, I can do that. So probably the one thing that I get asked about the most, and it was funny because I kept getting after Tom for enhancement on this feature, and he finally released, and he tagged me in the post because he knew I'd been asking for it forever. So it was great when he finally released it. But we'll jump into an account here real quick. But my favorite feature is actually the header buttons. It's been there a long time. He recently released header folders, which was the thing I'd been asking for because I had all these buttons up at the top. I'm like, I want to put as much information in front of my customer, ease of access.
Right.
But I can't keep adding buttons. Like there's things I want to put up here, but I need a folder to put them in. And so he got that taken care of for me.
That is so awesome. What kind of buttons, like while you're pulling it up, what kind of buttons do you have up there right now?
So I've got, trying to get this to.
And take your time.
Good old Macs. You got to give them system permissions.
Oh, yes.
Every time.
You're a Mac guy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I'm a Mac girl.
Save it. Go. Okay. So, you should be able to see it now.
I can see
There we
it.
go. So I'm in a demo account, but one of the things that I love is the header button folders. And again, this is just about putting information where people can easily access it. So communities and client portals have been a big feature inside of HighLevel. We utilize the client portal. We have a very active community. We run an affiliate program, and HighLevel is kind enough to make it to where we could use magic links. And a lot of people try to put things, load up the left-hand menu. We try to stay away from loading up the left-hand menu, and that's where these have come in. So they can one click go into the client portal, client community, their affiliate dashboard, but then we also have guides and training. So we have our knowledge center in here, and we love our little pop-up iFrame, which is another marketer's toolkit
Yes.
tool. So the first time I saw this, I kind of laughed because it brought me back to my early computer days. When I hit the minimize and I saw it down here, I'm like, oh, this is so Windows like 95. But I love it. My customers like it because it creates a great experience where they can go in, they can be looking at help docs, and they can move it around, they can rearrange it, and be looking at it right where they're looking. It's not in a separate tab or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or they can just scoot it down out of the way. So we love this little pop-up iframe, and we've got our knowledge center in there. We've got our online training courses that goes to the learning section of our community. But then we also promote additional services. So we offer VA services. So we have those in here. We're going to be adding some more additional services in here over time. And then another thing that we're really known for with other agencies is our change log. So we run our own change log, and we use the pop-up iframe again. And this way, everybody all our users stay up to date with all the changes that are happening in the platform. So we build out our own white label change log, and then we do the side modal for our uptime monitor. So people can hopefully not blow up chat support when something goes down. They can see right here that, okay, it's a third-party service that's down. It'll be back up soon.
Wow.
So
That's
again,
so
this is just
cool.
running. Yeah, we run it more like a software company than a traditional agency. That's probably one of the things that makes us quite different than most,
Yeah.
is that we do take more of the software, true SaaS approach. And then on the left-hand side, we've put in our own custom separators, labeled them. We have an AI copywriter that pops up in the iframe, works great. And then we have our business operations. We segment out our AI conversation and voice, and then our growth and automation and additional tools and setup. And we don't do any custom menus or anything through HighLevel. It's all done through the Marketer's Toolkit. And then we're also able to run a downgrade offer or a entry-level offer of the social only. And we're able to do that with the Marketer's Toolkit. Let's see if I can get one.
Do you use the customizer with the Google spreadsheets to?
I don't use it with the Google spreadsheets. We base it off of our SaaS plan.
Okay.
So we just do it off of our SaaS plan, and I'm trying to think of
When they upgrade and
on social
downgrade?
media. Yeah, so that way when they upgrade, downgrade, we don't have to worry about it. It'll automatically update through the Marketers Toolkit, through the HighLevel customizer.
Nice.
So, and that's nice. It's just, again, we're more about usability. So a lot of the features that we have turned on are in, I'll have to go into this. And you get this nice privacy mode, which is nice. So, we use the collapsible columns, which we have clients that absolutely love this because maybe there's a process that they need, but they don't need to look at everybody in that stage. So they can just
Right.
collapse it down, make it easy for them to view.
And
then,
also that
there's
drag
a
and
lot of-
drop.
Yep. So we really try to keep it minimal because, the thing of it is when you're doing this, you've also got to think that HighLevel is also changing things constantly. Now, that's one of the great things about the Marketer's Toolkit is that this is all he does. This is what he lives. This is what he breathes. And people have asked me, they're like, well, anytime I've tried to do custom CSS or JavaScript, HighLevel changes something, it breaks, it takes forever. I'm like, that's the great thing. There's thousands of users, thousands of agencies that are using the Marketer's Toolkit. Trust me. One of us will let Tom know if he doesn't know it already. And this is all he does. His focus isn't anywhere else. So he's able to get it fixed a lot faster than anybody else out there that's maybe offering a theme customizer as a secondary product or as a freebie or whatever it may be. And this is all he does. And so you know you're going to get the best result. You're going to get quick fixes. I know this last weekend, HighLevel dropped a huge update, basically redid all the structure in the back end. And Tom probably didn't get much sleep this last weekend. But, come Monday morning, everything was like 95% there. And, it was great. And he's been super active and responding to everybody. And, that's a big part of what you're paying for. It's not just the capabilities of the customizer. It's that level of service and support that you get as well.
Absolutely. It's having a development team right there in your back pocket.
Yep.
For whenever you need it. And I think you nailed it when you said that there are also thousands of users that are constantly using the toolkit as well. And so things that maybe your users might not pick up on as fast, we are picking up on and already telling Tom about, and he's getting on it. Whereas if you just have an in-house developer that has developed this code, you may not find it in time. Yeah. And it might be sitting there broken for a long time. And then, one or two people not saying something can turn into a problem in the end.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of times, we run our own NPS surveys. Like I said, we operate like a software company.
Yes, so, I love that.
We run our own NPS surveys. We have our own feature request channel where our customers can request features. And there's been features that have been requested that I'm like, this is going to be a nightmare to get HighLevel to do this. But a lot of it we've been able to get done with Tom. We let him know, hey, our customers are really asking for this. Can we get this button? Can we add a checkbox? Can we create this, situation for our users to make their experience a little bit better? And a lot of times he's able to deliver on it before HighLevel gets to it. And so sometimes it's just that bridge through the gap, because we know HighLevel's doing a ton of stuff. They're always releasing a ton of updates. Sometimes they miss the little things. And, Tom really does a great deal of work trying to cover up those gaps through the Marketer's Toolkit.
I completely agree. Is there a new feature that you are excited about? Maybe the new announcements feature or the workflows that he's come out with recently?
I definitely like the new announcements feature. We actually used that recently when Texas came out with their new mini TCPA laws. We made sure that it was in front of all our clients. And then we're actually going to be using it again for kind of the same thing, because HighLevel just pushed an update for the Texas law. So we're going to notify everybody, hey, go here to change this. So that notifications is great. It's a great way to be able to just put something right in front of your customer where they're already at, provide them additional information when you need to.
Awesome. And if somebody was coming into the toolkit as a newbie, do you have any advice for them coming in?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Tom does a great job. He's on top of it all the time. I always tell people, don't worry about colors. Quite honestly, people could care less. We care more about it as the company from a vanity metric than anything else. Worry about the functionality side. Worry about making sure that certain people can see things. Now, there are some options in the theme builder that aren't available in the customizer, like hiding certain menus or items based on user role. And we do leverage those, especially when it comes to like upgrading or downgrading plans, signing up for WordPress or maybe the social media planner, because we have a company that's like, hey, we only want our management to be able to add social media networks. But we do all that through the theme builder. We just don't apply any of the visual, except for a login screen. That's the only thing that's customized, but it's pretty static. It doesn't change. HighLevel dashboard changes all the time, so we stay away from it. But look at the functionality, especially in the GHL customizer. There are a ton of just little checkboxes that it may not seem like a big deal, but at the end of the day, if your customer can click one less time, or you can eliminate a frustration like that, half-written SMS that you hit return on your keyboard,
right,
or being able to search notes and things like that. It's those things that make a huge difference in your user's experience. And that's ultimately what's going to keep them on board and keep them paying you every month.
Yes, those features that you're speaking of, that's a lot of those are in the contact, just in the contact section in the conversations. Like I can also think
Yep.
of the little area where you can click on the maps. Like I think they even
Yep.
they have a Google Map. Zillow, I think, is on there too. Is it?
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
a
know.
satellite, Google
Yeah,
Map, and Zillow. Yeah.
yeah, and you can just click on those and go. I just blows my mind how many little buttons there are to click.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you talk about the contact field. So you think about website address. You think about what if you're having them upload a file into a form and it happens to be a Google Doc or a link to a Google Doc or a Google Sheet. There's a simple checkbox that you can turn on in the customizer that just simply puts a open a new tab. It seems simple, but guess what? Every other high level user is having to sit there and copy and paste it into a new tab. My users can just click a button and there's the customer's website. It seems silly, but those little things add up to making a big difference in that user's experience of using the platform.
Yeah.
And that's why I focus more on the usability side and the functionality side of what the toolkit offers, more so than the visual. It's just like if you're watching a YouTube video, if the video is a little grainy, but you can hear it okay, you'll still listen to it. However, if the audio is horrible and it's painful to listen to, you could have the best video in the world. Guess what? Nobody's going to watch it. It's the same way with software. It can look pretty all day long, but if you can't use it, if you can't function in it, if it feels like it's holding you back, those pretty colors aren't going to save a customer. They're not going to care. So that's why we just focus on the functionality that we're able to get out of the toolkit through all the customizations.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah,
Do you have
I appreciate
anything
it.
to add? Can you think of anything else that you would like to say?
I mean, the only thing I can say is, not only are you getting a great team behind the toolkit, but you are getting an amazing community. I know myself and several others of us that have been with HighLevel for a number of years, been with the Marketers Toolkit for a number of years. We're always jumping in there, answering questions, helping people out. We love the Marketers Toolkit community. And so you're not alone. If you run into a situation, and there's a lot of power users in there that it may not do it exactly, but here's how you can use the Marketers Toolkit to kind of get around it, make that experience that much better for your customer. From contact buttons to header buttons, whatever you need. Not only do you have a great team, but you've got a great community backing you up. So let's go sign up.
Yeah, let's do it. Get them in there.
Just do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.